What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video. Today we're doing What If Naruto Left with Sasuke Part 1. In this timeline, when Naruto catches up to Sasuke, the Jinchuriki doesn't come for hostile reasons. He knows Sasuke was his first friend and his best friend, so him leaving will destroy him. He simply tells Sasuke that if he's going to leave, they'll leave together. Sasuke is quite taken aback by this comment. Why would Naruto betray the Leaf Village just for Sasuke's pursuit of power? He makes his comment verbal, leading to Naruto taking some time to think about a response. It's because you're my best friend, Sasuke. If you're leaving, then I'm coming with you, and that's that. Seeing Naruto with tears in his eyes, barking like a wounded animal, makes Sasuke frustrated. He tells him that a weakling would only hold him back in his pursuit and power, and the duo engage in combat. As they battle like normal, Sasuke would awaken his 3-Tomo, leading to another dialogue sequence between them. You see, Sasuke, when we fight, we both get stronger. Now let me come with you. Sasuke's resolve begins weakening, and he slowly begins to realize Naruto's point of view. Regardless, the duo continue fighting, leading to the same conclusion with Sasuke knocking out Naruto. Instead of leaving Naruto though, he slings him over his shoulder and begins to take him with him. Naruto wakes up on the trip and smiles as Sasuke throws him to the ground and tells him to simply keep up. When arriving at Orochimaru's, he's a bit confused why Naruto came with him. However, I'm sure he'd be okay with Sasuke and Naruto both training. After all, Naruto is a Jinchuriki of the strongest Biju no less, so having him in his possession to test on could be interesting. It might be problematic for Sasuke to have a friend with him, but a certain tactic that Danzo used might make that a lot more better. So, over the time skip, Naruto's training will of course have some changes. I'd say that he'd learn Kinjutsu, or the use of a sword, just like Sasuke does, with some efficiency. Maybe not good as Sasuke can, but at least on par. I'm also sure that he'd probably learn some basic Winjutsu, like the Gale Palm or the Air Bullet. Without the use of the ki from Miyaboku, Naruto's seal would still be tightened. However, I'm sure Kabuto and Orochimaru could work together to make some kind of drug that weakens it. It wouldn't be natural though, so it might have some side effects that we just don't know about and we can't exactly theorize about. Naruto and Sasuke's personalities would also be somewhat different. Sasuke would have less of a darkened heart, whereas Naruto would have a much more darkened heart. It means Naruto is able to freely use up to a two-tailed cloak with ease. It's also highly possible that Naruto learns to use the Uzumaki chakra chains through Karin, since they're both Uzumaki and would potentially get along. Over in the Leaf, without the Jinchuriki, they'd look a lot weaker, and so they'd have a search team sent out at all times looking for Orochimaru and Naruto. This team would be led by Jiraiya, with people like Yamato and Sai on it. Sakura and Kakashi would also train much harder during these 2.5 years to make sure they can get Sasuke and Naruto back. I'd say that Kakashi would get a much better grasp on his Mangekyo, and Sakura would be much closer to mastering his 100 seals. Hinata would probably also train harder with Neji so she can get Naruto back. This would make both Yugas much stronger and leads to them being more relevant in the long run. The start of Shippuden would arrive with Gaara getting defeated and being taken. With Team 7 only having 2 members, they need more members, so Hinata would offer to join, and we'll see that Shino also comes along. Kiba would stay behind and go train or something like that, no one likes him anyway. The makeshift team moves to Sunagakure and picks up Chiyo, as well as save Kankuro. Then have a brief confrontation with Itachi, and then arrive at the Akatsuki base. They get inside, and Hinata and Kakashi chase after Deidara as Chiyo, Sakura, and Shino big battle against Sasori. The fights for the most part go the same, with Hinata and Shino just being there helping. I don't think Kakashi passes out though, due to having much more mastery over the Mangekyo. I do think Chiyo would give up her life still, seeing the younger generation for what they are, so Gaara still lives, but without Naruto helping in the long run. In the Tenchi Bridge arc, Team 7 would definitely consist of Jiraiya, Kakashi, Sakura, and Yamato, with Sai having no need to tag along. They'd all arrive with Orochimaru and Kabuto figuring out Sasori is dead all the same. Jiraiya would leap out, demanding to know where Naruto is, making Orochimaru chuckle a bit. He remarks that Naruto is his property now, so Jiraiya should just forget all about him. This angers Jiraiya as he rushes to Orochimaru. The duo begin battling, with Jiraiya using everything he has in his arsenal to try and defeat his once best friend. Orochimaru is able to evade, however, since he is stronger than Jiraiya. As the duo fight, Kakashi and Yamato would both act and catch Kabuto off guard. They place him in a wood-release prison to restrict him, and state that he'll be good for interrogation. Since there wasn't a foretales to cause the chaos, they're able to focus on Kabuto instead of the fight at hand. Eventually, Orochimaru stabs Jiraiya with the Kusanagi blade and would leave back to one of his labs. They'd heal up Jiraiya and return back to the Leaf to interrogate Kabuto on information. When returning back, Orochimaru tells both his students he has one final test for them. They must both fight each other to the death. While at first expecting them to complain, both boys would agree and immediately clash blades, leading to Orochimaru licking his lips. In his mind, he begins to root for Sasuke since he needs a Sharingan. However, he'd equally enjoy a vessel of a Ninetales. Ooh. The fight is dynamic, with them using their weapons, their jutsu, and their transformations. It ultimately leads to Stage 2 Curse Mark Sasuke against Two Tails Naruto. As Naruto begins to use hand signs, Sasuke kicks him in the gut, launching him behind Orochimaru, leading to the plan beginning. Naruto would use his air bullet and fling an off-guard Orochimaru at Sasuke. The Uchiha then extends his blade with lightning release and decapitates Orochimaru. He would come out in his true snake form and attack Sasuke, where he absorbs Orochimaru all the same. Both Naruto and Sasuke would then begin their trip just a little bit early. They'd end up picking up Suigetsu, where something interesting occurs. When Suigetsu goes to take Zabuza's blade, Naruto would forbid it, leading to a shouting match between Suigetsu and Naruto. Very coldly, Sasuke just says shut up, and after looking into Naruto's eyes, he decides that they're leaving the sword. So Suigetsu goes to get a different blade, taking up the extra time that they had gained. After they pick up Karin and Jugo, they begin moving to go and find Itachi. In the leave, Jiraiya would begin training on Miyaboku yet again after realizing how weak he truly is in the grand scheme of things. So Jiraiya would begin learning Perfected Sage Mode. Hidan would end up killing Asuma like normal, and then Team 10 leave alongside Kakashi. I think in this timeline though, both Yamato and Sakura would accompany, having nothing better to do. They would have a tough battle, but with Sakura healing out Kakashi, and Kakashi using Mangekyo, they're able to fully put down Kakazu. Back with the important people, Naruto and Sasuke would end up running into Deidara, where a battle begins. With Naruto using close combat and shadow clones to keep Deidara on edge, it allows for Sasuke to spectate his fighting style and come up with a good strategy. He realizes Deidara's weaknesses, while Deidara is distracted, trying to figure out Naruto's. Sasuke would shout over to Naruto to switch, and the Jinchuriki nods, leaping backwards as Sasuke rushes forward. Naruto would probably begin fighting against Tobi as Sasuke begins fighting Deidara. Due to all the knowledge he has on Deidara, Sasuke is able to pin Deidara down much quicker, without using as much chakra. Tobi would escape, leaving Deidara to his fate. Deidara tries to use a suicide bomb, with Sasuke having lots of chakra. He places lightning release into Deidara's chest, keeping him alive. After Deidara spits out the information they need to know, Sasuke and Naruto begin to leave. Deidara gets annoyed and tries to attack Sasuke from behind, but he merely uses his lightning blade to decapitate Deidara. They'd all continue moving, getting healed up by Karin along the way. As they move, they end up running into Kisame, who only says that Sasuke can continue. Sasuke, however, protests, since he has the influence on Naruto. He claims that they're all going to fight Itachi, and they won't hesitate to kill Kisame if he stands in the way. Seeing the icy glare in Sasuke's eyes makes Kisame chuckle, as he lets them pass. They all arrive at the Uchiha compound, where they come face to face with Itachi. Seeing Itachi immediately makes Naruto's Kyuubi chakra flare, as his whiskers come out immediately. When the fight begins, they all begin to attack Itachi, who easily dances around all their attacks. The first two that fall are Suigetsu and Jugo, not knowing that Itachi is that strong. As they fight, the Two Tails cloak consumes Naruto as he attacks Itachi, letting his hate begin to consume him. Sasuke shouts for Naruto to focus as the Three Tails comes out, but by this point, the hatred has clouded his judgment. The moment his Three Tails begin spinning rapidly, Sasuke realizes that this isn't going to go well, and makes sure to get some distance. As Itachi tries to keep his distance as well, he watches the Four-Tail Cloak consumes Naruto, leading to him becoming essentially a feral animal. The fight is on yet again, with Naruto demonstrating the power of the Nine Tails. The Uchiha compound is turned to shreds as Naruto uses stuff like his Bijudama cannon, getting some good hits on Itachi. While with his extending hands, Itachi can't get distance, and with his blast, Itachi can't escape. So Itachi is forced to use Tsukuyomi on Naruto and the Nine Tails simultaneously, knocking them both out. With him being so distracted by Naruto, it means he lost sight of Sasuke. Sasuke floats in the sky as he swings his arm down, unleashing Kirin onto Itachi, using even more chakra to make it quicker. So it impacts Itachi full power, killing him instantaneously. Sasuke lands looking for Naruto, where he sees Tobi standing in front of him. Tobi explains to Sasuke the truth about Itachi, leading to Sasuke's awakening's Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto then pulls Sasuke aside upon waking up, smiling. He exclaims how he's glad that they are done. Now they can go home like they agreed. After his part goes up, I'm going to leave a poll. Do you want Naruto and Sasuke to return to Leaf, Naruto to return without Sasuke, or both of them to create the Taka? Make sure you vote carefully, as it has drastic changes on the story ahead. Because that's only for him. If you'd like to subscribe and comment below, what's happening in the next part. If you like it, make sure you give it a big fat like, as 50 likes guarantees a part 2. And yeah, bye!